welcome, Karabo. Thank you very much for connecting with me on this. I think it's really awesome because the whole purpose of this of us connecting on this and trying to is to try and help as many people as possible that perhaps are having the same problem as you are, just around strategy, around a business and initiative that they're running, and around their marketing specifically. So thank you for coming on here and having a chat with me around this. I've found. Are you still there? Yeah, you're there. Okay, cool. It's just the internet line that's a bit. So,
Yeah.
anyways, what I was trying to say is that so Karabo, you have. So tell us about your business and some of the problems that you're facing.
So I've started, it's more like a community called Phenomenal Women Connect. And it's about women coming together to network, inspire each other, and grow together. So far I've ran 2 events. They are a specific venue called the Gables. Well, that's where I did the last 2. And I invite people to purchase tickets. So what they get on the day is I invite 2 speakers to speak on whatever subjects I find relevant at that point in time. So the speakers will address the guests, and as part of what they pay, they'll also get lunch, and they'll get an opportunity to network or take photos, and there's also food included in that whole thing. So what I found is that the first one, obviously, I ran last year and I ran at a loss, and I was happy to do that because it was something new that I was trying out. So I ran a second one this year in June, and I pretty much ran at a loss there too. So I want to run more of these, but financially, it's not making any sense to me at all. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, how do I firstly get as many people to attend as possible, so reach more people? Secondly, make this at least be able to pay for itself so that I don't have to keep digging into my own funds to fund it. And then another thing, I created a Facebook page where I'm wanting to engage with the ladies on a more authentic and personal level. So I've been posting stuff on there from time to time, and I didn't want to just post for the sake of posting. So I could easily find quotes or pictures to post on a daily or weekly basis. But I wanted to be more authentic, and I want to increase engagement so that people get value out of this. And I know that what I'm posting is relevant. Yeah.
Okay. So so there's I think let's just start at the first part, which is like just running the business running at a loss, or the initiative running at a loss, and trying to first get those numbers up. So do you know how much of a loss you have?
The last one was about 3,000.
Percentage wise, not in terms of percentage wise, in terms of money put in versus actual, like, because this is the thing, it's coming down to like, how well do you know your numbers? Like how many people do you need in the room to purchase a ticket to actually, because this is coming down to ticket sales, right? So like, how many people do you need to purchase a ticket for you to make a profit, or for you to break even? Do you know that number?
Yes, it's about at least 20.
So you need 20 people to buy a ticket to your event to be able for you to be able to cash flow it and be able to do the next one without having no loss. That's like zero. That's like you broken even. Oh, that's awesome. So, and how big is your list currently?
I've got about 30 or so people.
That's great. Okay,
that are,
awesome. And then between number 1 and number 2, how many of those people were the same that arrived at both events?
Not a lot actually. I think 2 or 3 that
Awesome.
came from the first one.
That's so okay. That's perfect. So you got pretty much whole new people in this one versus the people that came to the first one. That's really good. It's really good. It's a bit of a problem, only that it just shows that there wasn't a high retention rate, and especially. But I think the big thing is that what's really cool is that you can, because they've bought before, because they're aware of you and aware of the value you bring. It's easy to go back to those 30 people now and get 20 people into your next event. So what and I think so would it be, could you, for example, just from a perspective of making this an attractive event for your next one, set up a way for people to buy, because it now is depending on, it's a bit of a numbers game, and depending on how well you know your numbers will determine how successful you'll be able to make this. The people that already have they're already aware of you. So let's just say a ticket was 200 Rand. I'm just throwing out a number. So let's just say your ticket price is 200 Rand, and you say you come and you bring a friend, and that's now 300 Rand for your tickets. So now you need less amount of people in the room to break even, right? You're gonna have more people in the room, and your number is 20. So if you had, you know what I mean? So if you, like, my numbers are getting, even though they're quite simple here. Let me just try and throw that out quickly. So if you got 20 people, you got 20 tickets that let's just say you sold 20 tickets, you got double the amount in the room, and they would have already, because I mean, you got 30 people, so you can call each one of them. You can phone each and every single one of those people. Out of that, majority of them, you get them to buy in to your next event, bringing someone else at the price of 300 Rand instead of 200 Rand. So you found value in the event. Okay, great. We're going to be running a next one. Would you like to come? Yeah, sure, I'd like to come. So listen, why don't you come? I got a special thing that's going on. If you bring another person, I'll be able to. But this obviously depends on your numbers. Do you think you'll be able to do something like that? So I'm just saying, like, this is coming down. It depends on your numbers.
Possibly.
So from one angle, is because you got, there's a small amount of people, so you need touch points. You need to connect direct, and the easiest way to connect direct is the telephone. They're aware of you, so it's not madness that you're connecting with them. If they had to refer, and you know your numbers, like, so you can either say, like, you bring another person, it's or even it's 200 Rand and you bring another person, you get an extra seat. Who are you going to bring? And then they say, oh, I'm going to bring my cousin or my sister or my aunt, and or my mom, whatever the case is. And then they come, and you've already doubled the amount of people on your list. Now it's about nurturing that, getting directly in contact with that person and saying, hey, you've been invited by XYZ person. Would you like to bring another? Like, this is like, so you could quickly double the amount of people that are coming to your event very quickly. That's one thing. So, I mean, that was just the one thing that I was thinking about, just because you want to keep your costs low. Yeah, sorry.
So I was going to ask, so what you're proposing is, let's say a ticket is 200. They bring a second person, and the second person only pays half the price.
Yeah, that's possible. It depends on your numbers, though.
Okay.
So you
So I
could
just
do
wanted to
like,
make sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
yeah, sorry about that. In my head, you just need to know your numbers really well. If you know your numbers, how could you play with them in order to get more people in the room and provide more value to the person that's arriving, right? There's the other component is it's easier to sell on someone that has bought than someone new, right?
True.
So don't worry about trying to attract new people, because for that's going to cost you money. Just go directly back to the same space where you have worked, and you just build a deeper connection with them, right? And there's another question I have for you. Have you, and this is kind of leading into the reach issue, or the reach problem you had with the Facebook, but my question is, are you recording these sessions?
No.
So do you think it's of value to actually do that? Or why haven't you?
I definitely think so, yeah. Because the last session I kind of recorded on a phone, because my whole thing is I wanted to be able to record. If I'm gonna record, I wanted to record proper quality camera, or and have somebody who can edit it properly, which I don't really have access to at this point.
Look, I hear you. And I mean, I'll give you a very specific example. We're doing this. I'll tell you now, this internet connection is not the greatest on the planet. But the value I perceive is not going to be sitting in, obviously it would be awesome for this to be studio lighting and, you know, all that stuff. But I think the value is sitting in the information that we're sharing right now. So it's more about how you use the content and how you frame the content, as opposed to how beautiful it is. I think, especially when it comes to the content that you're trying to do, if you rather work on having great sound, or when I say not great, but like a good level of sound quality, you're gonna be like ahead of everybody else. Does that make sense? So I think
just focusing on.
Say that again. No, continue, please.
So I was saying, so it's focusing on people being able to get access to the content of what was being said on the day versus what it looks like.
So look, you can have the sound, the video, right? And this might just mean more work. But what I've noticed with when you're taking videos is that if the sound quality is bad, there's no relevance to a video when the sound is bad. But when the sound is very good, then the video plays very well. It adds a lot more dynamics to it. So my suggestion would be that, so you got two things: either they have a phone in their pocket that is feeding direct sound, and then you've got a video, and then those two are synced up. And I know this is going to the original problem that you brought up in terms of having someone to do that. But it might be worth your while to just learn it. The other option you have is literally to just take the sound, and out of the sound you can put that up on SoundCloud. You can take those sound bites and share them with people. Those could be quotes. If you listen back to them, those can be quotes that's relevant content to the time and place for the people that you're trying to serve. Does it make sense? So
Yeah, especially people that would have attended.
well, those are the people, generally speaking, that would have that will engage with you because they've actually been there. So they're like, oh yes, I remember this. This was so awesome. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you know and that comes now back to the authenticity and the value because they were there. And if they maybe just consumed you on Facebook but not really taken action, they might have serious FOMO at that moment in time because you, because
Mm.
because you're gonna get because I mean like now you could make a provocative post. So maybe there was a great teaching that everybody clapped hands about, and that comes through in the audio, and then you caption it pretty well. You put maybe it could be a slideshow that you're doing, and then I mean that are pictures of the day, let's just say, with the audio playback of that snippet, let's just say, or that teaching, or that section that was really impactful. Then with the people that are taking part, they would have definitely someone would have commented on that, and then because it's a Facebook page, right? It's a Facebook page that you got. Okay,
Yeah.
so I might be 2 steps ahead here. So let's just I'll complete this thought, and then I'll just go back to how you get them to actually pay attention to the Facebook post. So initially, this can be Facebook content, because instead of it being like your general run-of-the-mill quotes and all that stuff going on, it can be specific content from that only you have, really, right? So it's exclusive, right? That's number one. You then you're also not trying to go too much to go find new content. You actually you making your own content, and it's there right in front of you. It's the video and the audio from your own event. The other part is just around content. So that was about content. The other thing is, look, it depends on how you sort of position the people. Are these people that come to speak, are they known in a way, or do they have like content themselves, these people? Not all of them, I'm assuming.
Not really. They're not. Well, one lady is like a life coach, but she's still kind of like establishing her brand. And then the other lady, yeah, she's also still kind of establishing herself in that field.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, so this is like you just creating your content hub, in my perception. Because let's just say the lady on the life coach, she's definitely going to be sharing some very clear tidbits, right? And and depending on how well you're listening, you can literally say out of that, here's 5 steps to changing your mindset or your state. And now it's like you got these 5 steps, you put them on a PDF, and then that is like an emailed document to your people. Or even better yet, you might say, you email them to say, listen, go get the PDF, it's on the Facebook page, right? So now you're driving that attention right back to your Facebook page. And then they're more likely to see the posts. They're more likely to see other stuff. So, and the thing is, you play between the email and whatever sort of communication you're running to get them to go and pay attention to the Facebook post. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So you drive the attention.
So I'm not relying on Facebook on its own.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous thing you could do.
Ah, okay.
Well, the reason why I say that is because, okay, you've got how many people on your page at the moment?
Around 72.
how many of those people actually see the post? Have you seen the analytics?
I have, and it's usually pretty low.
And that's
I
just
think
the
the
way the
most is
algorithm
like
runs.
20.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Mm.
that is actually not bad, because if you got 20 people watching the post, or that have seen it, it's really good. Most people get like 5% of those people actually seeing the post. So you want to be able to engage with them and make sure that they do that thing. It's just as simple as if you had a website. How would you drive attention to the website? You'd have to tell people, go and download XYZ, go and have a look at XYZ, in the same way you do that.
Mm.
You could also create like
Mm.
long form blog posts directly out of the content that you create, um, on the day. If you really wanted to play a high level content game, um, when it comes to your Facebook page, because essentially your question is, how do I drive higher engagement with your people? And really, it's by driving a bit more content.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be relevant, and it's got to be different. So, I mean, and valuable to them. And the only way it'll be valuable to them, I think, because you're creating an experience, is about it being about the learnings that they're going to get there. And so I think if you really wanted to play a higher game, let's just say you start your morning with an interview with said speaker, and you get different tidbits because you already know what they're going to be speaking about
Mm-hmm.
before they come. So you can get a whole lot of different stuff from them. Hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
great learnings and stuff. And then that can be exclusive type of content. So, hey guys, this is going to be posted on my website or on this specific space. You don't want to miss it. We're launching it at such and such a day. This is me and said person, and whoever really enjoyed that speaker is going to be paying attention to that. And now it's not
Ah.
just, it's a bit of, you're also doing a bit of give and take, because they will tell you what they're interested in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So the people engaging with the page will tell me what they're interested in
Exactly, because you'll
through the
see they'll,
comments.
through the comments, through the likes, through nothing at all. You will be able to understand, oh, this works, this doesn't work. But you need to run it, you need to go at it, and you have enough content. How often do you plan on doing these events?
Um, I wanted to do it like every quarter, so like once every 3 months or so.
How long is the event?
Around 2.5 to 3 hours.
So you can, how many speakers on the day?
2.
Cool. So you now have 4 people that you can go back to, communicate with,
Mm-hmm.
and grab content from them, right? So similar format where we're doing. The only difference is
Mm-hmm.
I'm eliciting specific problems. You're gonna go and elicit content, and you're gonna pick their brain. And you're gonna speak to them, and then you can get a whole lot of content for the next 3 months. You've got more than enough content. Even you can even say, maybe I'm not going to go back to these 4. Maybe I'm going to go speak to the other 2, the new ones that are coming, and I'm going to grab some content from them, and then use that as the content that brings the people, because they want to know more about what's going to be taught, what's going to be shared on the day of the event. The next step is literally emailing these people, every person that's been there, connecting with them, and asking them like, this is, and saying like, hey, have you checked this out? this is a good lesson. This is something that you can use. Oh, wow, this person's sharing this. You know, that type of vibe. You literally, you have to engage with them and you have to see what's important to them by sort of cherry picking some content and sharing it with them. And then they will engage with the content. They will engage with the Facebook post. They will engage with maybe the article contents. Because does that make sense? Or is it like too much already, like of stuff?
No, it makes a lot of sense because I think usually before the event, I would start creating a bit of hype around the speakers, but it's mostly around what they do. And so like the two on the first event, the one was like a fashion designer, but she started off in corporate. So for her, it was around her whole journey from corporate to being like an entrepreneur. So I posted photos about her and like a brief write-up around what she does. And then with the other lady as well was around hopping from different careers, and also just like understanding that you a multidimensional person, so you can be a designer and a corporate person and a life coach sort of thing. So I'd have a short write-up that I put on Facebook around the speakers that people can look forward to. But I guess it was not enough because I think I did like one post each for each speaker.
Right.
Yeah.
So agreed. You gotta put out a lot more content. Firstly, for people to see it, and then I think those are awesome in terms of like the angles. It's just gotta go just a little bit deeper. Because I'd say like I was immediately thinking with the first lady you mentioned, what could work is maybe 3 things that this lady shared with me as to that helped her move from corporate to running her own business. You know, simple things like that. If you want to know even more, you know, you guys have to come to the event. You're kind of leaving a cliffhanger at the end. You know what I mean? Just like if you want to meet this lady, you know, she's going to share stuff like this and so much more. And then you're just focusing on just trying to drive value. So it's like having your own business is really tough, as we all know. But here, listen from someone who actually made the jump from employee to business owner and running a successful business, or 3 steps to making a successful business, or 5 steps, or whatever it is. But obviously, you can elicit that content directly from them. You don't have to make it up. You know, you can ask them questions and get into their world because you already know them. And my other question is, how much are these speakers helping you promote?
Very little, actually.
So if you're gonna
because
yeah,
I think it's also because they're speaking for free, so I didn't really push them that much to advertise.
I think all the more reason that they have to, because they're speaking for free. The only difference is if you show a lot more interest in them, they may want to show you a lot of interest as well. So my suggestion would be, if you spend time with them and you elicit content from them and you sharing content about them, what is the more likelihood that they would want to share that content as well? And then say, I'm going to be speaking here. If you want to hear more, you're like a content machine for them because they don't have the time. They don't have the energy to create content for themselves, not unless they're really on the ball. This is the main thing now. We need to we're in a space, and I believe especially in South Africa, where we got a lot of opportunity in Africa as a whole. We got a lot of opportunity to create local content at scale, like lots of it. And the opportunities, we don't have to set up these, it doesn't have to be like super lighting and all that stuff. It just needs to be relevant and real. So can you do that? So
yeah, that's
can
an
you do that?
interesting angle that.
Sorry,
Yeah, definitely.
I cut you off. Sorry. Could you go back and
No,
just on your thought?
No, I was just saying I hadn't thought of it from that angle at all. I think usually I'm focused on how do I get people to know that there's an event, but not really telling them what the event is about and what people are going to be getting out of it. So that's like an interesting angle to look at now going forward. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So did that answer the questions, both of those questions? Yes?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, cool.
I actually can't wait to apply them and see how it all works out.
Yeah, awesome. So if just a quick recap, you're gonna have to know your numbers. I think the numbers is the one thing that a lot of people shy away from. I know I tend to do that often as well. But if you know your numbers, I mean, like, it depends on how much content you have. Because if you have good content and you promoting that content, like let's just say you're putting 50 Rand, 100 Rand into a post, for example, you can have a lot more engagement on that post and more people will want to find out about it and book tickets. How are people booking tickets?
I had it online via web tickets.
Web tickets. So
yeah.
I don't know web tickets. They obviously take the payment in as well.
Yeah.
So check out Quicket.
So everything you could do. Actually, I think it was Quicket. One of the two. I used one of the two, either Quicket or web tickets.
I don't know web tickets.
Yeah, I'll have to go and check.
But Quicket is good. It has a direct feed into Facebook as well. So you could run an ad specifically about the event, for example, or you can have that link and embed it directly into Facebook. But I think the main thing is if you've got lots of content and it's relevant, it's going to already separate you from everybody else. I mean, I was going to suggest the other thing, which is, I mean, do you know other women? Because I'm assuming this is Phenomenal Woman. I'm assuming it's driven mainly to women, correct? Like it's about women, right? Correct? Is that the niche?
No, yes, your assumption is correct.
Okay, cool. So let's just say, I mean, do you know of anybody that's got a large woman, or large, doesn't matter how big it is, that are connected to women, like specifically? Like a network?
I know one or two, yeah.
So why not approach them and try and collaborate in one way or form? It doesn't necessarily have to be monetarily. It can literally be, I don't know, you got to find out what's valuable to them. What do they want? What do they need? You know, if you have an event and if they're willing to throw some attention on you, maybe to send out, maybe if you can blog for them or give them a bit of content. The one thing you got that's really tradable is your content and your specific content that comes out of your group of people. That it's your, you know, it's that connection to the speakers, and then you want to connect with another engaged audience. So I mean, I'm sure even you have friends on Facebook and they have friends, you know, or even friends that you're aware of. So like, hey, listen, what's important to you guys? you get all your friends involved, and then like ask them a whole bunch of questions. What are your problems you're currently having? And then you go and ask these people, and then you tag them in a post and you say, hey, listen, Karamo, remember that problem you had? Here's the answer. And then maybe that person shares it on, and then they eventually go back to the page, and then on the page, hey, we're having this event coming up soon. Do you know what I mean? So you literally, you need to solve people's problems, because that's what, I mean, this is what brought this about, right? This conversation that we're having right now. How can we help people solve problems?
Yeah.
And through that, we can actually get their attention. And if we get their attention, then we can move their attention. Say, hey, yeah, pay attention to this. You've got a ticket to this event. And on the day, I give away some beautiful gifts and things like that. So,
cool. Yeah,
what are you going to implement? Thank you. What are you going to actually do? I need what? What exactly are you going to do? Because there was a lot.
I'm going to start off with the Facebook post things, going back to the skills that I had before.
Awesome.
And getting more tidbits from like little nuggets of knowledge on how they managed to get to where they are. And I have the 1 or 2 recordings of the previous session that I had. Awesome. So I want to go see how I can cut that up. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't the greatest, but yeah, I did take a video of the one speaker. Awesome. So I want to see how I can cut that up and use that for content.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you already got some content that you're going to share? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So
yeah, and I also want to go back to. Sorry, I was saying I want to go back to my previous posts and see which posts got more engagement and likes, just so I can also start getting better insights into what people want to see.
Right. It's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Awesome. So how long do you think it's going to take you to just sort of get that back, so we can follow up with you and just check in on how you're doing?
I think a week.
Wow, that's going to be nice and quick.
A week should be enough time.
I'm going to give you 2 weeks. I'll tell you why, because I'm traveling.
Okay.
I'm traveling. I'll check in with you at the end of the month. And we'll see how it goes, if you've learned anything, and I would love to like maybe even see some content that you shared and things like that. It'd be awesome. And perhaps,
okay,
I mean,
cool.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head, leveraging these people again, especially the ones that you like, as you shared, maybe they're inviting people to your next one. You never know. People will give, they will give where they see value.
That's true. But even I just thought of like engaging with people that actually attended too, just to understand what for them was the most value, what they enjoyed, what they'd want to see more of, or what other topics and things they'd want to hear more about.
That'll just save you a whole lot of time in thinking. So I totally agree. You don't have to go and pick it out of your brain. You get it from the people that were there. So that's a great idea. Well done on that one. I'm just making a note. Get back to people. Cool, Karabo. Cool. I'm so looking forward to connecting later in the month. And yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, and we'll see. I'm sure there'll be some good changes from this.
I'm sure.